Good morning, dear friends. I welcome one and all for Saturday's webinar session by Hello Kids. Today we are going to learn about building reading fluency among children. To know more about this, we have our guest, Mrs. Manjit Legha. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mamta.
Manjit Legha, ma'am, she is a passionate educator by choice and profession, having a rich experience of more than 20 years in education management, teacher development, curriculum design training, and leadership sector. Having set up schools and preschools, coached about 2,000 business leaders, 10,000 plus teachers and principals to effectively lead their classrooms, schools, and business units. She is well versed with international best practices and curriculums like the Finnish curriculum. She's also worked with schools of alternate studies and such robust practices. She has effectively led organizational to go market strategies, profitability, analytics, and data. She's also worked with human resource management, teacher trainings, curriculum, and redesign. She's effectively led several women entrepreneurship programs, enabling women to set up their own schools and businesses. She's a passionate author, YouTube blogger, having authorized several children's storybooks and curated her own YouTube channel currently. She is engaged in serving the large cause of education through independent consultancy, coaching, and training projects. Welcome to Hello Kids, ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you, Mamta, and hello, kids, and Mr. Preetham for having invited me over here on this Saturday morning. And thank you, Mamta, for the lovely, kind introduction. But to cut it short, I am basically a teacher, a parent, and a very, very passionate educator. But most of all, today, a parent. It's a Saturday morning. I understand all of us are in a state of flux, and so was I, trying to find a quiet corner in the house so that I could take my session. So these are the challenges of parenting, right? And I'm sure you also face the same. And today we are going to discuss one such challenge called reading fluency. So parents, please note that this is different from reading. So reading is, once your child learns through phonetics, through sight words and putting the letters together to form words. Now, fluency sets in when children learn how to put different words in a sentence together to make meaning, to give expression, to give a soul. That is what we call fluency. It's like, let me give you an everyday example. It's like, we all have dal and sabzi and curd, but when everything is put together, it is called lunch or dinner or a meal or supper. So, likewise, when you put the different words together at the right rate, with the right speed, with the right fluency of pronunciation, the correct pronunciation, no grammatical errors, where to pause, where to speed up, where to give a very questioning expression in your voice, and where to say aha exclamation. That is what we call fluency. And building reading fluency is no rocket science, right? In fact, most of the parenting is not um, anything akin to a rocket science. It's very, very instinctive. You just need to have the right kind of know how. And it is always good to reach out to the experts to get a few tips. So today we are going to be talking about reading fluency. Though I love to go without a PPT, but again, opinion has it that it's nice to use a PPT because a lot of people like visual impact. They are visual learners, so they can focus over there. So I'm going to request Mamta to please share the PPT and our topic of conversation today. I wouldn't even call it a lesson. I would say it's a conversation with the parents, which is how to build reading fluency amongst your children, right? Next slide. So I think to begin with, the very first point for every aspect of parenting, including, you know, reading fluency, is to be a role model. Now, before I go there, it says, what is fluency? Fluency, as I was talking to you, is putting the words together with the right accuracy, right? When to pause, prosody, expression in your voice, right? Aha, hello, hello, what did you say? Hmm? And rate of reading. Matlab, there has to be a certain rate of reading. Speed. Rate means speed of reading. So when you put together accuracy, that is correct grammar put together, right? So that will come with practice, that your school also teaches your child, and you will also teach your child through certain means. If there is time, we'll discuss it. So when the right grammatical structure, the right expression in your voice, and the right speed, that is what we call fluency in reading. Let's see how we can do that as parents at home or with your child, wherever, or through whatever time you have to spend with your child. Next slide, please. So I think this is one of my favorite questions. Not mine actually, a teacher's favorite questions is, ma'am, children hate reading, and many parents come up to them and says कि इसको reading नहीं करनी है. Yeah, they would love to watch videos and cartoons, stuff like that, but they don't like to pick up a book and read. Why is that so? Let me tell you one of the biggest reason why some children, not all mind you, they don't like reading. Hate is a very strong word. I put the word hate because most educators tend to use it, right? It's not as if children hate reading. It's just that when they cannot understand the relation between text and, comprehension. कि ये शब्द, these words, what are they meaning? What are they trying to say, right? Are they taking me to point A, point B? What are they trying to tell me? When children don't get that focus, don't get that pre-reading skills correct, that is when they get put off from reading. So if you don't read to your child when they are young, right, chances are that they may not like reading when they grow up. Chances are there, right? Because children need exposure to be read to read together, and then read to you. So I hope all of you are spending a lot of time reading to your children. Why do I say that? Because next slide tells you that one of the best ways of getting children to be fluent readers is to be a role model. I hope you spend your weekends or whatever time that you have at hand in reading to your child, reading with your child, or having your child read to you. All right. So one of these things has to be there. You have to be a role model, basically. You should be reading whatever newspaper, magazine, Phantom Comics, Chacha Chaudhary, or whatever that you like, but you must read, right? You can read the Gita, you can read anything, but there must be some time devoted every day to reading, and children should be able to see that. And when they see that environment in the house of mom, dad, sister, grandmother, uncle, whoever is in the house reading, they tend to mimic. Children are great mimics. So first of all, be a role model. अबे भले आपने अभी तक नहीं पढ़ा हो, but now you need to be a role model. So pick up a book, a magazine, a comic, a novel, a short story, or a newspaper, whatever interests you, and start emulating the habit of reading to your child. That is one of the biggest things. It's the same thing like if you eat healthy, your children will tend to also eat healthy because junk food won't come into your house, right? If you exercise, children will also look at you and get into the thought and the habit of exercising, right? If you keep sleeping late till 10 o'clock, you can't expect your child to be up and about and fresh at 8. Similarly, if you don't read, you can't expect your child to be an avid reader, to be a fluent reader. Hmm? Next slide, please. So, parents, point number one, in your busy schedule, please take out time to read. And it doesn't matter even if you were not a reader. So, focus on pre reading skills. So, this is just a heads up on what is happening at the school level. So, at the school level, when your children go, they read directionality. What is that? That means you read from left to right, top to bottom, and how to hold a book, with the spine up, what is the spine of a book. All these things are taught to you, to your child at school. So pay attention to that. Dheere dheere you will see your child holding the book right, and they will do finger reading from top to bottom, right, not from bottom to top. All these are skills, or pre-skills rather, which your children pick up when they go to school, or when they are at in their class. All right, so now let's talk about visual vocabulary. Visual vocabulary is having a house, in the classroom we talk about print rich class. There is labels everywhere. That's why you see it's written on the cupboard, table, blackboard, and there'll be a theme board, there'll be a birthday board, etc. Likewise, at home also, have a nice environment, in the sense there are magnets on your fridge, है ना? So read about it. Oh beta, this is when we went to Singapore, or when we went to Assam, or when we went to Darjeeling, etc. So children will pick up D from there, or they will pick up that Assam is for tea over there, or they will pick up Singapore building over there, these kind of stuff, right? So have a rich visual vocabulary. ठीक है? Over there. So even bags of chips, bags of biscuits that your children read. So that as well includes visual vocabulary. Pardon me for just a minute, please. I have one very, very urgent message coming in, please. Okay, I'll take it as it comes. So now we are going to go ahead and talk about the next one, which is familiarity with sight words. Now, sight words are those which cannot be broken up phonetically. Sight words होता है rote words, you can say, right? So like Czechoslovakia, that's a big word. Switzerland, it doesn't follow any phonetic rule as such, right? Geography, the word is such. Maybe even the place where you live, sometimes Ludhiana, it doesn't follow any rule of phonetics. So these are sight words. McDonald's, right? Biggest example. There is no rule for how and why McDonald's is spelled as McDonald, right? But how do children pick it up? When they see it, right? So a little 2-year-old will not even know how to, pick up a pencil, but yet when they were passing by, they will, mama, papa, that is McDonald. That is sight words. Okay? So at school, children are also taught to develop focus, which means the eye-hand coordination, right? There are lots of activities which children do at school, which their teachers do with them in lovely activity areas, which develop focus, eye-hand coordination. Okay? So these, I'm giving you a heads up on these 4 sub skills which are developed in a school. So make sure that your children have these sub skills developed. Talk to your child's teacher and also check up on what you can do at home to develop these sub skills. So school does a lot of stuff for your young child. Next slide, please. So as I said, label things around the house. When your children are young, you do a lot of stuff. As I said, magnets on the fridge, right? And a simple thing in the kitchen, like mom and dad, you can label the masalas over there, right? And when you're cooking, tell your child, please get me dhania. D, he will look for that. Please get me, noodles. N for that. Please get me flour. F for that. Even atta, if you label it, get me A. The children will start identifying, recognition, right? And then they will start speaking out those words. what happens is the children shy away from speaking those words which they've not heard. So as a result, I always say children eat those words and they never ever gather enough confidence to speak those words later on in life. Okay, so label things around the house. You get this thing today. There is a band, Rolling Stones. Your elder child is very uh, fond of it, is a big fan of it. The Beatles, usko label karo, right? Let the children learn. A print rich environment is one of the best ways of building reading fluency. Children will speak, they will get over their shyness to spell out words, to speak words which they may not have used before. Next slide, please. Place books within the reach of the child. Now, we all Indian parents, we believe in living 3 generations ahead. Kapde bhi silwate hain to 3 size bade. So same way, when we get the books, books will get spoiled. So put it there where the child can only see and not touch. Well, if the child doesn't touch, doesn't feel the book, doesn't flip it over, doesn't do it upside down, doesn't put a crayon through it, doesn't do finger reading with it, the child is never ever going to be able to read that. Okay, so have books within the reach of the child. Why do you buy books? For children to use them, right? You don't want them to be spick and span and clean books, wherever. In our schools also, the biggest sign of a happy class, of a class which is reading, is when the books have their edges a little bent, little torn, little used. So I always feel that whenever I go to a school where the teaching aids are used, the books are looking used, that's a good school. That means children are getting the opportunity to read those books. Pardon me for just a minute, please. Thank you so much, Mamta, for covering me. And let's go to the next one. Provide a lot of audio inputs, right? Provide a lot of audio inputs. Matlab, audio visual is one thing. Only audio is very, very important in today's world, right? Because of the advent of technology, our children are in any case getting a lot of AV inputs, audio visual inputs, right? But to develop the correct pronunciation, to develop the correct speech, to develop the correct kind of, add rate, etc., with what to uh, pronounce words, to speak words, etc., you need to provide them with a lot of audio inputs. Okay? So, which means that podcasts, right? Or podcasts, let them hear a lot of audio podcasts. Hmm? Audio podcasts where they hear audio stories, they hear audio books, not visual audio. So there, what is happening? The child's entire focus is on pronunciation, on speed, on which is the correct way to speak such and such word. Okay, that's why I say audio books, right? Visual mein kya hota hai? Then they get distracted. They're busy following the mouse, this thing. So that has a different purpose. But if you want to improve fluency in reading, then audiobooks are beautiful. Documentaries are beautiful. Let them listen to them, right? Let them listen to rhymes. Tongue twisters. It's so nice, when you're taking a walk with your child or before bedtime, you know, to get the right pace with your children. Do tongue twisters. Remember what our age-old grannies used to do? Betty Beater bought some butter, but the butter was bitter. So Betty Beater bought some more butter to make the bitter butter better. Right? So this the child will develop when he is slightly older. At the age at what your child is, they will pick up first 2 or 3 words, but it's very good. It gets them over their hesitation and it also makes reading fun. Children will come and tell you, Mama, give me another tongue twister. I managed it. Give them a 3-letter tongue twister. Give them a 4-letter tongue twister. Right? Give them a 5-letter tongue twister. It doesn't matter whatever language. I've heard so many parents use that one. Chandu ke chacha ne chandu ki chachi ko chandni raat mein chandi ke chamach se chutney chatai. Right? Look at the experience, the role of the tongue, right? And the memory and the recognition. All that is happening in that one sentence over there. So look out for these words and use them, right? And finger reading. A lot of parents come and ask, is it okay? My child is kind of, you know, uh, putting fingers and reading. Yes, it is absolutely okay, right? It's absolutely okay. Let them put a finger and read, no problem at all, right? They will gradually get out of it, right? Some people, some children even put a scale below that and read, that's all right. These are all beginners practice. Children will get over them as they grow up. But if they're using this as a strategy to start off reading complete sentences, it's perfectly fine. Don't even worry about it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Do a lot of picture reading. As I said, have a print rich environment, label things, but also do a picture reading. There's a poster in the house. Just look at that and say, okay, what is this one saying? There is a full page ad in the newspaper, about a butter or cricket or some sport or some icon, right? You may have a round rabbit over there. You may have a Sachin Tendulkar over there, or Virat Kohli over there. So picture reading. This is your child will then tell you two sentences mein. He is a cricketer, right? He plays cricket, right? He has won World Cup. Okay, so picture reading. Okay, anything about an animal, you can just show them a picture of a of a zebra. Yes, zebra is an animal with stripes. Look at the beautiful thing, right? So you just give them the stimulus that this is the picture, now do reading. Reading aloud also is a very good habit. Aate jate, I feel parents, within the house, why don't you just say, how was your day today? Instead of just asking, beta, aapka din kaisa tha? Sing it out. Children find it very interesting. Suddenly, they will have your attention. They will say, Mama, what did you say? Say again. Dad, what did you say? Say again. I said, how was your day today? You need not be a Lata Mangeshkar to be singing that. I am none. So you can just sing it out. Rhythm. The child will try to repeat. So what are they learning? They're learning intonation. They're learning when to pause. They're learning to give expression to the words. That's what fluency is all about. है ना? Okay, wordless books. Parents, these wordless books are also available in the market, and very nice books. You get it by CBT, Children's Book Trust. They make a lot of these wordless books. Matlab, there you show a picture and then you and the child have a conversation. Let the child speak whatever they want to do. You speak, the child speaks. The child speak, you speak. That, they start building up their own stories that way. They start building up their own expression that way. Because a picture can speak 1,000 words. A picture can speak 1,000 words. So the canvas is huge. Your child is free. If they see the picture of a rabbit and an elephant, well, they can create whatever they want out of it. It can be in the jungle, in the city, taking a metro ride, or the jungle king is coming, or there is a music concert in the jungle, or there is a bhook hartal in the jungle, or there is a protest in the jungle. Every time your child can read a new story into it. And reading is being fluent. Okay? Next slide, please. So some children like to comprehend a story through drawing and reading. I have many parents who come up to me and say, ma'am, he doesn't like to read, he likes to draw and then read. Well, that is an excellent strategy again. For example, they say that 3 little pigs lived in a hut. So these children, they immediately like to go to the margin of the page or a rough page, whatever you provide them, and make 3 little pigs and a figure which looks like a hut. Okay? So that is what we call 3 little pigs and a hut. So they are reading. So let them draw and read to you. Draw and read to you. Another good strategy. Able learners. They are visual learners perhaps, or they are, visual and auditory and kinesthetic. They like to feel, they like to touch, then they like to, speak out what they have drawn. So it is a perfect strategy. If your child is indulging in that, no problem. Let them do it. Next slide, please. So bring variation in reading routines. You shouldn't be a bore that reading is serious business. We have to sit on the desk and the table and the chair only and read. Reading is fun. Reading is food for the soul. Okay, read in the garden, in the swing, read a magazine, read a family album, read the fridge, read nameplates, read on packets of chips, read on packets of dal, read on packets of biscuits. Look at the variety. The child says, I don't want to read a story. Go into the kitchen, open your cabinet, and start reading. Okay, we'll spend 10 minutes in chalo, bring that packet of sugar. What is it written? 5 words that you can identify from there. Let's put those 5 words together. That is another way of reading. Build sentence trees. Now, sentence tree, we do it in the slightly older age group, but for this younger age group, it simply means divide the sentence into 2 parts. Don't worry about grammatical structures like subject and predicate. You don't need to worry about that. Subject tree means one sentence divided into 2 parts, right? And then, for example, there is a sentence, the grandmother was sitting in a rocking chair. So what all you have to do is speak out first part of the sentence. The grandmother was sitting dash dash dash. Now the child is supposed to complete it. Hmm? The dog Zorro is dash dash dash. ठीक है? Today there is a guest dash 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 dash. So that is called sentence tree. You give the teaser, the child will complete the sentence. What you will notice it invokes a lot of interest. Morning mein children will start off. What are we having for breakfast? Right? I had idli for breakfast. Mama had coffee along with her idli. Okay? Slowly they will start giving you the teasers, right? So I am wearing, Mama, you tell me, then you have to guess. Okay, red shorts and white shirt, right? So fun, both of you. So they're learning the subject accuracy also. The verb, the noun, by default gets put together. There is no conscious effort, there is a subconscious effort only. Children will put it together and voila, they are learning how to read. Simple strategy. Next slide, please. So I'm aware it's a Saturday, and I'm going to leave you with this message that if you get your child to read just about 15 to 20 minutes every day, they will end up reading nothing short of 1 million words. And out of these 1 million words, even if a couple of thousand of them are new words, wow, what have you achieved? You have achieved huge literacy, right? And the more they read, the more they will learn to put it together, right? The more they put it together, they will learn expression in their speech. Once the expression comes, automatically the grammatical errors will go away, and then they will tend to listen more, right? Make them listen to more correct speeches, audio speeches, or news or documentaries, right? So you can provide them with audio input. Child to reading can include like actual reading as in book reading, magazine reading, story reading, rhyme reading, or it can also include uh, audio stories, audio books, audio inputs, right? So the whole point is that put a lot of focus on reading and follow your instinct. If the child is getting a little bored of sitting in the room, go out and read, right? If you're in the car, strike up a conversation, build a sentence tree, right? Tell them to label the things and put them all together. Now they have to move beyond just one word. They have to string the words together. Remember, I gave you the example of putting the dal, the vegetable, the curd together to make a meal. So tell the child, make a meal for me. Make a meal of these words for me. Use new keywords every day. Let your children get excited. Like the teachers at school do a lot of stuff to get them excited. At home also, as parents, you just bring about these teeny weeny little changes at home, and there you will see your child pick up, get interested, get motivated. Reading is all about being motivated to read, all about getting inspired to read, all about getting better and better. The better your child gets at reading, their confidence level shoots up, and they start reading more, they start understanding more. And I don't need to tell you that the habit of reading is one of the best habits that you could ever gift to your child. Thank you so much, dear parents, for spending this half an hour together with me on a busy Saturday afternoon. So, as I sign off, the presentation is over. So, ma'am, you can please stop screen sharing. So, I hope I can leave you with a thought, or maybe you can make a silent promise to yourself that yes, beginning this weekend, I'm going to make a effort, a very conscious effort to spend a lot of time reading with my child, reading to my child, or having my child read to me. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm open for questions should there be any. So, ma'am, you can guide us in case there are, or you can reach out to me. My mail ID is with ma'am. You can reach out to me through my YouTube channel where I do stories for children, or even on my Facebook page where I do a lot of handy tips for parents and teachers and educators like you and me. You can reach out to me. I'm available on the social media as well. So thank you so much for being with us today. Have a great weekend, and come on, you know um, read something new to your child today and tell us what you read. Thank you so much for being with us, all parents of the Hello family and others also who may have joined us. More power to you. Keep rocking, keep shining. Thank you so much.